When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Ropaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, Boise State out at practice today. The hype circle getting things underway. It was Davis Cutter in the hype circle today, starting practice number 5 for the Boise State football team, as third day in a row that they practice, and then they're going to be getting a day off tomorrow, I believe, getting into some full pads later this week. But obviously, another morning out on the grass practice field for Boise State. So Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. We got practice highlights coming. We got JL Skinner, and of course, we got our man John Mallory as we welcome to the show here as Boise State underway for practice there. And Johnny, appreciate you, man. I'm down here at the James Whiskey and Cocktail. Not open yet, but they open at 3 o'clock for folks to come on down and have happy hour right across the street from BSU. You are in the Ropaint.com studios there in Boise. How's it going, man?
It was fun. It was fun to see you at practice today. You said practice 5. Here we go. And these suckers are going to fly by. And before we know it, this team's going to be ready to go to Reser Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon, and take on the Oregon State Beavers of the Pac-12. It's going to be I love this time of year. Again, it's going to be a fun ride following this team. I liked seeing Davis Cutter, my man, in the hype circle today, leading the way. A lot of times you wouldn't see, say, a transfer player assimilate into a program the way I think Davis Cutter has. So that's good to see. Davis Cutter is all Boise State, and nice to see him. He was hyped up, man, Davis Cutter today. He was firing them up, and that was fun to see. I always love to see who's going to be in the hype circle, BJ, and kind of what type of hype, what message they were going to deliver. And, Davis Cutter, was all over the place with this today, but it pumped everybody up. I loved it. He got everybody really excited. That was good to see.
Yeah, I had to have Colin turn the audio down a little bit with a few of his choice words that Davis Cutter used there. I don't know what the rules are for a streaming broadcast in terms of that, but I mentioned you being there in the Ropaint Studios at KTIK downtown Boise. We are at the Cutwater Cocktails Can Studios here at the James, so make sure you get one of those Cutwater drinks. Check them out, the canned cocktails. We appreciate their support as a sponsor here of Bronco Nation News. And Johnny, we're going to hear from JL Skinner. We're going to play some clips if we can from practice as well. But what were some of your general takeaways from being out there on the practice field today?
I thought the quarterback to receiver relationship, I know it's just against air for now, but it seemed like I think I saw one ball hit the ground off somebody's hands. That's it. A couple of off passes. But other than that, BJ, I like what I'm seeing with the relationship between the quarterbacks and the receivers. They ran a bunch of red zone stuff today, BJ, and that's not by accident. We all know this offense's struggles last year to get 6 points rather than settling for the 3. So I think there's even more of an emphasis on red zone with this team. That was my biggest takeaway today. The quarterbacks in the passing game and the communication and the relationship I'm seeing them develop with these receivers inside the red zone. That's going to be a huge deal, and it's going to start right at the first week of the season with in Corvallis against Oregon State, BJ. But that was good to see today. So, yeah, I loved it. BJ, I lost your audio, my friend.
I was muted. I was muted. Okay. It wouldn't be a show without something going wrong, but I was muted there. If I was telling folks if they have a question or a comment, feel free to put it on the YouTube chat or on Facebook. We're live right now on both 95.3 The Ticket as well as the Bronco Nation News channel. So we can take your comments. We can take your questions that way. Rudy says ball game looks tanned, rested, and ready.
I am ready to go. Coming off a week vacation. I needed it, BJ. Back in my land, my studio, my Mecca. And excited to be talking to you. What's going on, Rudy? Let's do this.
Again, we'll take your comments, take your questions, anything. We're at they weren't in full pads today, Johnny, but they had the shoulder pads. They were working on tackling there at the beginning of practice, some of the monotonous stuff of fall camp. But we did see a little bit of team stuff. There was a quick period there where they worked on some team stuff. Marco Notarini, a linebacker, had a nice interception there during that portion of practice. Last week we heard about Zeke Noah's brother joining the team at running back. The Utah State transfer. We know we got the whole quarterback battle that you were talking about as well. Offensive line. We're going to talk to Ben Dooley after practice today. What position battles? What parts of the field? I know the obvious one is backup quarterback and that situation there. But if you're your head's on a swivel to some of the other positions, some of the other spots. Where were you looking today, and where are you going to be looking at practice moving forward?
Yeah, I noticed that throw. You mentioned the interception. I'll just go ahead and call it a pick six. I mean, it wasn't officially, but I don't think anybody was catching him there, BJ. Maybe they would have. I don't know. But Talon Green was the gentleman who got intercepted on that, and that's a throw Talon wants back. I didn't see Sam Vidlak in that team portion of practice today. You'd have to correct me if I'm wrong. It was just Hank and Talon Green. I thought they're going back and forth. I didn't see him get any run in that regard. Sam Vidlak. Maybe he did though. Maybe I missed that. So that's obviously, I'm keeping my head on what's going to happen there. But I love what the offensive line is doing too. And I'm excited to talk to Ben Dooley today because Ben Dooley was a fixture on this line last year, BJ, and that might not be the case this season, right? Isn't Ben Dooley one of those guys who is fighting for his job, trying to start on this team? There's going to be some people that get left out, and that's a good thing. It's going to add that depth that Coach Avalos wants. The dependable depth is how he will phrase it. So interested to see what Ben Dooley will do. I think this offensive line needs to play at an exceptionally high level for this offense to be able to turn that corner and go from averaging a little under 30 to like mid 30s, high 30s this year. BJ, it is tough to win with the frequency that Boise State has won with for so many years when you don't put points on the board. When they were beating everybody, the decade of dominance, if you will, they call it, and they were averaging 40 points a game. This program needs to get back in that regard, I think, and maybe that's going to be because of the offensive line play. I think you need it. You have to have it, BJ. We'll talk to Ben Dooley today.
Yeah, we're going to play some clips if we can from practice today. And again, dealing with some slight internet issues here today, so hopefully they will work. But I did mention the quarterbacks and the receivers, and I think that's going to be a big thing at fall camp here is this receiver depth. What do you make, Johnny, of the receivers? Austin Bolt's going to have a nice catch here. This is Steph Cobbs.
Yep. But
what do you think of the receivers and that whole deal trying to replace Khalil Shakir? Here's Austin Bolt, by the way, and this clip would probably blow up the internet if I posted separately. A nice catch, which into the end zone for Austin Bolt.
Yeah, there's still a lot of questions with this receiving core for me. Now, they could be answered very quickly, BJ, and very easily. It's just like there's these guys you're just kind of waiting for them to pop, if you will. And maybe they'll pop in fall camp. Maybe they'll pop in Corvallis. Maybe it'll be UT Martin. But I think they're going to pop. But it's not like in years past when you can say, oh, okay, yeah, you got John Hightower, Khalil Shakir, C.T. Thomas, all these guys coming back who had had success on the blue before. I feel like we say this every year. Latrell Caples and Billy Bowens. What are we expecting from these guys? I think Davis Cutter is going to have a better year than he had last year. Static, it looks like he's going to kind of be the front man, the Khalil Shakir, if you will. Austin Bolt, major wild card, but I want to see him involved too. Again, BJ, I'm not ready to sit here and say Boise State, that's one of the best receiving corps in the Mountain West. Maybe I'll say that after a couple of weeks, but right now there's just too many question marks I have. I think they'll be answered, but I just don't know when, and I don't know who will be the 2 or 3 guys, BJ, that really step it up and have terrific football seasons because, again, this offense needs it. They need quality receiver play, better receiver play than I think they had last year. I'll throw in the tight ends too, BJ. I think as a unit, the receiving core and the tight end group have to be more productive on the field this year than they were last year. And time will tell.
No doubt about it. Hey, want to thank a couple of our sponsors, Transportation Compliance Service. Check them out, TCS, transcomservice.com. We appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, if you're wanting to switch a career change, become a truck driver, now's the perfect time, and they can help you with all the permits and things you need to get out on there on the road. Check them out, transcomservice.com. Boise Dentistry Co. If you're looking for a new dentist, full family dentistry, you can check them out, boisedentistryco.com. Whether it's your kids, your grandma, your wife, whoever, they can take care of everybody in your family. They got locations across the Treasure Valley. Great time there. They'll make you enjoy going to the dentist. Check them out, boisedentistryco.com. United Commercial Insurance, Bronco Nation News, now a client of United Commercial Insurance, and it was a very easy process to get our insurance policy set up with them, done in a couple days through a couple emails. Very easy process. So if you're looking for business insurance or you want to get a lower rate, give them a quick call, and they can save you some money. Ask for Brandon. Give them a call there, 229-8222, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. And, of course, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 Idaho locations. You can check them out. I frequent that Cuno location often, whether it's the at-home delivery, the Skip app, the home shopping. They got all that great stuff, the delivery. So check them out. Find the location near you at shopridleys.com. We're going to hear from JL Skinner here in a second, Johnny. What's your take on this secondary? You saw Coach Warren out there working with the corners, the first year for him out there coaching. We saw Kane Ione out there with the safeties today at practice. They were working on.
I do like the secondary, BJ. I do. I think it might be, I'll use confidence. That's the word that comes to mind for me when I talk about the Boise State secondary. I have a lot of confidence in this unit from the coaches. We'll see how Coach Warren is going to transition there. I like what I saw from Kane Ione last year as the co-defensive coordinator and obviously the safeties coach there. Love Kane Ione and his coaching ability. And just the battles that are going on at corner, that's going to make those kids better. There's 4 or 5 corners I like on this team, but I'm confident if this coaching staff says, hey, these are our 2 starters, here's our nickel, here are a couple safeties, okay, I have the utmost confidence that they're going to pick the right guys for the job. And luckily for them, there's a lot in the cupboard, BJ, with the secondary. And it's led by a star, which is great. JL Skinner is probably the biggest star on this team, right? Last year it was Khalil Shakir, no question about it. This year, at least where we are on an August 8th, I would say JL Skinner's the biggest star on this football team. Everybody has him penciled in to play on Sundays one day. I think that's going to be possible. But first, he still has unfinished business here at Boise State to get this team back to a Mountain West championship caliber level or just a Mountain West championship game appearance. JL was part of that team in 2019, BJ, the last time they went there. Had a smaller role, obviously, than he has right now, but he's more equipped right now, I think, captain, to lead this defense, get off the field on 3rd and long. I felt last year there were times, and I don't have the data in front of me right now, I just thought last year this defense, there were too many 3rd and 7s, BJ, that got picked up. Too many 3rd and 6s. Occasionally a 3rd and 11, they're picking it up, and you're like, gosh, you got to get off the field on 3rd down there. I think they're going to be better at that this year, too, and I can't wait to see how that all evens out and who gets these gigs. But, man, BJ, I'll use that word again. Confidence. I'm very confident in this secondary. If it's not the best unit on the team, it's certainly one of them. And if they're going to win the amount of games in the total and play the way they want to, this secondary is going to be a real big part of that. And I think they have all the tools in the shed, BJ, to get that sucker done.
Let's hear from JL Skinner. We had a really good chat with him, but the first small soundbite here is I asked him, and you can hear the question, how good this defense can be, and he, interesting reaction here.
How good can the secondary be?
We could be. I'm not gonna go out there. I'm gonna just say we could be very good, man. We could be very good. We have the pieces to be very good. We have the leadership to be very good. Our whole defense and our whole team has a chance to be very good. So if we continue on this path that we're going on right now, it should be a good start.
He wanted to go there, but he didn't, Johnny. He's excited about the defense, and he wanted to say something that might become bulletin board material or something.
Yes, sir.
But it seems like at least J.L. Skinner's pretty excited about this defense and what it can do.
That smile, man, you can see on that smile, he is excited to be a leader, to be a front man, an important piece of this defensive puzzle, and certainly in the secondary. And, I was talking about it today, I think, with Jordan Kay on the sidelines at practice, our buddy in the media. And I was like, what do you think's going to happen if he gets a targeting penalty the first couple games of the season? Is it going to be this here we go again thing? Or, hey, has he cleaned that up? Is he going to play with more of a conscience of targeting? And I don't know if that holds him back. I wouldn't think so. Just playing smarter in that regard. Because I'll tell you, Twitter, Boise State Twitter, if J.L. Skinner is called for targeting, that first game in Corvallis is going to blow up, man. But feels like he's got a lot of confidence. They even have players they like behind him. If that does happen, I thought they filled in well for him last year. But yeah, it's good to see JL. He wanted to go there, BJ. He wanted to say, like, I think we can be, I don't know, the best secondary in Boise State history or something like that. You could feel he wanted to put that out there because he does have confidence in the players around him. JL Skinner, you can see there, so confident. He's ready to say, like, dude, we can set records, dude. We can be the best this school has ever seen. We can do all this stuff. But he just, like, it is August 8th, right? Calm down a little bit, JL. And he did there. And obviously, like you said, Boise State, they like to control or at least make sure the players that speak to the media aren't saying we're going to do all this and that. You've been in this town a long time. And, JL probably had somebody in his ear saying, don't go there. And that just goes to show what a great guy he is, too. He wants to, BJ, but he knows it's probably for the right reasons now, not to go in that direction and start the hype train up, if you know what I mean.
Well, speaking about the hype train, J.L. Skinner had a ton of that himself all off season. We're seeing the Senior Bowl and some of these people starting to talk about him. He obviously could have gone to the NFL last season. He comes back this year for a reason. Here's J.L. Skinner on his goals for the upcoming season.
I don't really tune into the hype. Like, I just retweet those things just because it's something that you do, I don't really care about the hype too much. I'm not really having many personal goals as if I need to get this many tackles or this many interceptions. I don't really care for that. My goal is to win a championship. Honestly, that's my whole mindset right now. I don't care about me personally. I'm trying to do everything for the team and make sure we're in the best position to go get us a ring. So I came here, wanted to leave before. I only have one right now, so I got to get one more. I've worked pretty hard. It's a certain level of confidence within me just based off of the work I put in, but everyone on our team has put in a lot of work, so they actually install confidence in me. Just seeing them the way that they do things, making me feel confident in the way that I play also. So, everyone put in a lot of work this offseason. I don't really care about the accolades and stuff like that. Like, at the end of the day, listen, all that don't matter until you prove it. So that's how I feel about that.
Listen, all that don't matter until you prove it, Johnny. It does seem like J.L. Skinner's he's getting some of the NIL money now. He's got some things going on. He's got his own clothing line.
He's got a chain there that looks pretty tight, man. I'd rock that chain.
It's a big year for him, though, isn't it, though, man?
It is. And like I said, he's the biggest star on this team. He's acting like it. J.L. Skinner, and I'm not saying he wasn't a couple years ago, but it feels like he's a grown-up, right? J.L. Skinner looks and acts and talks and conducts himself like a grown-up. And not a lot of 22, 23-year-olds do. He does. I counted 5 NFL scouts at practice today, BJ. I don't know if you saw those guys too. And I would imagine every single one of them. It's funny. You ask a scout, I've done this before. I've made this mistake. Like, hey, who are you here to see? They will say the same answer every time. Everyone. I'm here to see everyone. But I guarantee you, number 0, J.L. Skinner, is circled on every one of their lists, right? He's the guy that they go up to and maybe ask, Chuck Pagano, who was on the sideline, Dirk Cutter, these guys, like, hey, what do you know about the Skinner kid? And there's going to be a lot more of that where that came from. But, yeah, no question. This team, BJ, J.L. Skinner primed to have an all-time year. And it's funny you think about that. He said, I only have 1 ring. Not a lot of guys on this team have rings, BJ. Not a lot of these dudes were here in 2019 when they last won the Mountain West and got that big fat ring. Like, kids, who doesn't want one of those rings, right? Everybody does. It's a part of the reason you play. And Boise State, you can go back so far where, I mean, I know players who left this school with like 7 or 8 rings, man. They've lost track, bowl game rings, conference championship rings, right? All this stuff in between. And not a lot of kids on this team have one that should serve for motivation. And I guarantee you, if JL Skinner is talking to the media about that, I need a ring, I promise you he's talking to the defensive back room and to all the other players on the team saying, hey, we need a ring on this season. And wow, BJ. Again, I think this is one of the most important seasons Boise State's had in a long time to get back to where this program has been versus still kind of hanging around in 7-5, 8-4 land, not where this program wants to be.
We're taking your comments, your questions on the YouTube and Facebook chats. Perry chiming in, defense wins championships. Jordan Morales chiming in, just tuning in, and whoa, the guys are looking fresh today. I guess you're looking fresh after your vacay, man.
Got a little bit of sun, huh, BJ?
Yeah, a little bit.
Ready for the grind, though. I always take the vacation like that first week of August, BJ, because for me and you, like now you're working 6 days a week now. Till what? January? We don't get to go on vacation from now until what? January, right?
Yeah, for me, it's basically after the spring game probably because you got basketball. I mean, it's an 8-9 month grind now. But speaking of basketball, I want to play another JL Skinner clip in a second. But he talked about the relationship with his mom and how unique that was, and how his mom actually studied the game of football when he was growing up, so she could help coach him and give him thoughts on football. And she knew nothing about the game either. He was the only one in his family to play football. Here's about 90 seconds. This is interesting. JL Skinner and the relationship with his mom.
I say my mom. I came from a different background. Most people had the experience like me probably, but not the same experience as me. So I dedicate that to my mom. She always installed that humble attitude in me, and that's the reason why I am here.
When you say different background, what does that mean?
Just the different type of struggles and obstacles I had to overcome in life. My mom is my rock. My mom is my everything. So she told me I always be humble and just remember, things aren't going to come to you. You got to go get the things yourself, and you always got to remain humble, because once you start acting like you're that person, God will humble you. You know what I mean? He'll make you feel like you have things to work on. So me personally, I just always stay humble. Always know there's an aspect of my game to always improve and things like that.
How often do you talk to your mom, and who usually makes the phone call?
I talk to my mom as much as I can. We got a busy schedule right now, but she'll probably call me or I'll call her just whenever I got some free time. But I talk to my mom every day. I have to. I don't really like the sense of not talking to her every day, because if something happens, I wouldn't know. So I just like to hear from my mom.
Does she give you football advice or just life advice?
My mom gives me everything advice. My mom actually studied football because of me. Nobody in my family played football before me. It was just I was really the first person to start playing football. So once I got into that aspect, really wanted to be good at this game, be dedicated to it, my mom sat in the room and studied and watched football games for me. So just so she can learn something, she might not know a lot, but she gonna teach me little things like that. So just having her in my corner and just keeping me level-headed, that's what she mainly does for me. And she'll tell me if I did something wrong in the play and such like that. But just being a mom, man, I just love her.
Your mom out there giving you tips growing up playing sports, Johnny?
She did, man. My mom's a big football aficionado, historian as well, more so than my dad was. So I was in kind of JL's boat. Mom kind of helped me with football more than dad did. But I think JL Skinner, these clips, BJ, for folks that are watching these, and I guarantee you Mrs. Skinner, JL's mom, was probably tuned into this too. She's very active on Twitter, supporting her kid. Great mom. That's a beautiful relationship. But I think JL Skinner might be on Khalil Shakir status as this season progresses, right? You just kind of feel it. This is his team. He's saying all the right things. He's just likable, right? Like Shaq was. I think, and Shaq was a star with this football team. I can see JL Skinner maybe on a Shaq type of level as this season goes on. It's going to be fun to see. And I think we're going to be interviewing JL Skinner a lot this year. It'll be like when Jay Ajayi played here. It felt like we got Jay every single week because he spoke so well with the media and he was a representation that they wanted of their program from their players. Shaq was that last year. I think Skinner's the man this year, along with Hank, obviously.
One more Skinner clip about how he got into the game of football. I mean, you think about this guy is going to be an NFL draft pick. He must have been playing football since he was 5 years old or whatever. But no, JL Skinner actually started as a basketball player.
At first, I was a basketball player. I didn't like football at first. I I don't know, I just didn't like it. And then I tried flag, and I quit flag because I just didn't like that. I just stuck to basketball, and then I saw a flyer from my middle school that said something about football, and I said, hey, I'm bored right now. So I went to my mom, and she put me in it, and ever since there, it's been a run with it. So at first, I didn't really like football, but now it's grown on me where it's a sport I love. So yes, sir.
And at one point, was there a dream while you were watching the game and said, I'd like to be that guy?
I didn't really. I grew up watching football, but not really necessarily games. Kind of watching players only. I didn't really watch NFL and things like that just because I was so much into basketball. I watched NBA. So I did watch a couple players and watch some things like that. I knew about Boise State, though, because I had the NCAA football game. So I did have that, but, I wasn't really that big into watching football until, I'd say, about 2 years ago, maybe. I wasn't really that big into it just because I was a basketball guy. But
are you an NFL fan now? You watch?
Yeah, I watch NFL now. I got to. There's a lot of trades and stuff happening, so I've been watching that stuff. This is going to be a good season, but before I had to grow on me a little bit just because I love football, I love playing it, but I just don't really watch sports as much.
Teams or players you follow?
Teams or players? I mean, of course I follow all the Boise State guys. Tom Brady. I like winners. It's really it right now. I just watch everybody else. I like to study them, see what they do, see what other players do, even on the offensive side of the ball, receivers and such like that. So I just really watch everything I can and just learn from it.
Did you gravitate to football from basketball because you liked it better or because you thought you were better? What was the reason that you decided to move to football?
I moved to football because it did start to grow on me a little bit. That was really it. I started playing from that middle school flyer, and then ever since then, I just had the little love to hit people. And then I got moved to running back, and I started scoring touchdowns. So I'm like, man, this stuff's pretty fun. And then from there on, it was just a runaway. But I played the end at first, and then that was it. So I just like hitting people and then just carried away from there. Yes, sir.
Liked hitting people and scoring touchdowns, Johnny. Led him to the game of football. And Jail Skinner, I think, is going to have a big time season, and a lot of people excited for what he can do. We got Dayton Robinson chiming in. 40 days until the home opener. Crazy to believe. We're under 4 weeks from the first game, but obviously the first 2 road games. JT's asking about the 2 practices, rookies and vets. Do they still do that? No, they don't do that anymore. It's just the whole team going in the morning. Today was day 5 or 5th practice, but day 6 of fall camp. They get tomorrow off, and I think they're in full pads for the first time, Johnny, like on Wednesday, I believe, when we're back in action. So no practice tomorrow, but they are rolling. And they're it's less than 4 weeks, Johnny. It seems
we're here, man.
It seems like it's a grind and it goes slow, but it does speed up, and it's gonna be fun, man. It's crazy to believe that football's already here and the season's here, and glad to be partnering with you guys over there at KTIK to bring it to you, man. Any final thoughts for the viewers out there?
It's a big season, a lot of excitement, a lot of big position battles going on with this thing, and a lot of storylines too. And keep tuned into the Ticket and BNN, obviously, and we're going to do our best to keep you as informed as you've ever been regarding this football program. So here we go, and looking forward to getting back to practice in a couple of days.
I got a few things to attend to, Johnny. We'll let you roll, and we'll keep the stream going for a few minutes here. But appreciate your time, man, and we'll be listening 3 to 6 today.
Thanks, BJ. Appreciate you.
There he is, John Mallory. We appreciate John Mallory and JP and them for helping us out with all of our content. A couple things do want to remind you of. Hey, get a subscription. If you like what you see, Fall Camp 22 is the promo code. You can get a full year subscription to BroncoNationNews.com for just $52. Hopefully you'll consider a subscription. We would really, really appreciate that. Got to pay for all of our equipment, pay for the road trips, a lot of stuff we're working on. So hopefully you will consider a subscription. $52. It's $1 a week. Gets you a full year. Just go to BroncoNationNews.com. We'll have exclusive stories, recruiting, analysis, all kinds of great stuff coming to the website. So make sure you please check that out. And we're very appreciative for those that already have subscribed, and we hope others will shortly. I want to thank, obviously, a couple other of our great sponsors, the blueandorangestore.com. If you're looking for that Boise State gear, check it out, whether it be the Nike gear, the coaches' sideline apparel, all the new gear. They got it at the Blue and Orange Store. You can get free shipping on any order over $40 if you go to the blueandorangestore.com. So make sure to check that out. Not too late. Perfect time. Weather's starting to cool down a little bit. Get out and play some golf. Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell is where you need to go. Play timberstone.com. So check them out. Book your tee time. And it's a great course, great greens. The drive's not as bad as you playtimberstone.com. Matt Bauscher with Bauscher Real Estate. Appreciate him as well. The #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley, BauscherRealEstate.com. You can check him out. No home is too big or too small for Matt Bauscher. So check him out at Bauscher Realty. And again, we appreciate what Matt Bauscher has done to support Bronco Nation News as well. The YouTube channel, we're really loading the YouTube channel with a lot of daily interviews, content. We'll have the interviews from today with Ben Dooley. We'll have full practice highlights today as well. So make sure to go to youtube.com/Bronco Nation News and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate that. We're trying to build up the YouTube channel. And you can put the little notifications on. So whenever we go live, you can watch the live shows. You can watch the press conference shows, all the different content we're putting up there, practice highlights. It'll all be on the YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe for free. Just takes a couple seconds if you're logged in through your Google account, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. We are here at the James, as I said, and I have a gift card we can give away, a leftover gift card from basketball season, $25 gift card here to the James. Again, they open up at 3 o'clock. They have happy hour from 3 to 5:30. They got a great cocktail menu. That old-fashioned, the James, is their signature cocktail. They got some exciting things as well. They're going to be opening up a bigger menu. They're going to be open up, in the afternoons for sandwiches and things like that. There's some more announcements to come on that, but big things are happening here at the James, downtown Boise, right across the street from the stadium. So if anybody wants to get a couple cocktails on us and come try out the James, let us know, and we'll get that in the comments here, and we will get to you. So if you want to email me too, rains@bronconationnews.com, rains@bronconationnews.com. If you're coming in town for a game, you can use this on game day, get a couple drinks before the game. A lot of cool stuff going on. And again, we appreciate Barry and everybody at the James for letting us come by and do the show from here before interviews and things like that. So thank you to the folks at the James. Thank you again, Cutwater Canned Cocktails as well, sponsoring our studio on the road, the Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios, those mixed drinks. Make sure you check them out. I had the Long Island again the other night, and it's just a very great, I don't know if invention's not the right word, but you don't need the whiskey, you don't need the Diet Coke, you don't need the ice. You just put it, they got it all done for you right there in a canned cocktail. It's a great one, and they got to almost 30 different different kinds you can get. So make sure to check them out at your local grocery store or gas station. We appreciate the folks over there at Cutwater Canned Cocktail for their support as well. Don't forget about the Westside Pizza, by the way. If you want a pizza, you use the promo code BNN25, I believe it is, and you get 25% off your entire order over at Westside Pizza. So BNN25 is the promo code. They have a $10 large carry-out pizza. So if you put in the promo code and you go carry it out, $7.50 for a large pizza over at Westside Pizza. So make sure to check them out as well the next time that you're in Boise. And a great pizza. Was there the other day, and they got the calzones, the cookie pizza, all that great stuff. So BNN25 is the promo. They do deliver, but if you want to save a couple bucks on the delivery, go pick it up and get an even bigger discount there using the promo code BNN25, westsidepizza.com. Appreciate everybody for checking out the show today. That the Wi-Fi is hanging on. It hasn't been perfect, but it's working, I believe, Colin, pretty well, right? We got Colin is here behind the scenes helping us out. We appreciate Colin for being here again. We got some cool announcements. We got some cool things in the works. We're excited. I can't quite give away what we're working on, but we got some cool things we're working on. There's Jordan chiming in on Westside Pizza. Went a few weeks ago, had a great time. Felt like the good old days, sitting down to eat pizza. So appreciate Jordan for checking it out. Yeah, we got some cool announcements we're working on for some post-game shows, some other cool things that were in the works for Bronco Nation News. Just can't tell you too much about them yet. A new show on Wednesdays in the works as well. So we got a lot going on. We were hoping to bring you more practice footage today. I apologize for that. Just the bandwidth of the stream here, it's not allowing it to happen. But hopefully in the future here, we'll have more practice footage during these live shows. And I also apologize for the time. There were some folks waiting at 9 a.m. for the show. We couldn't start it right at 9 because that's when we're out at practice. Tomorrow we'll be at 9. Jay Tust and I will be at 9 a.m. tomorrow because there's no practice. But there are days where the show may be at 10 or 11, just depending on when practice is. So during fall camp, the show could be at any point between basically 9 and noon, just letting you know. So apologize in advance. Just kind of check social media. I'll try to get a word out in the morning of what time the show is going to be. Dayton's wanting a tease. I guess we'll just say two familiar Boise State figures, I guess I can say. I don't want to give too much away, but if you're a Boise State fan, you'll have 2 recognizable names that are getting involved with helping out on some of the shows and post-game shows and things like that. We're adding to the team. We're able to add to the team thanks to your subscriptions, thanks to your support. So, again, if you like what you see and you want to help continue to see this grow, we hope you will consider that subscription. $52 right now with the promo. It's not going to last very long. So the fall camp promo, you just type in fall camp 22. And by the way, as another tease, I am working on like a little goodie bag, whether it be a t-shirt, we got some cool things we're working on, and we will backdate it. So if you get a subscription, once we get this thing off and rolling, whether it be a t-shirt or some sort of special gift, we'll hook you up with that and make your subscription even more worth it. So check that out as well. So we're going to head down to Boise State, get some interviews. We got Ben Dooley and to the ball. So we are going to head down to Boise State, get our interviews, and probably good timing here as it looks like the Wi-Fi is a little choppy. But appreciate everybody for checking out the show today. Thanks to Colin. Thanks to Jaden. Thanks to everybody. My son for being mostly quiet today in the background. But 9 a.m. tomorrow, Jay Tust and I will be back for our show. And again, we'll get the interviews with Ben Dooley and Brandon Hawkins up on the YouTube channel as soon as possible this afternoon. Our final comment, Vlad is asking, who is Karen Rains? Is she hot? Yes, she is smoking hot. You hopefully folks have a chance to meet Karen Rains, but and I don't know who Vlad is and if you're joking around or not, but yes, Karen Rains is smoking hot, and she's been a big help behind Bronco Nation News. We wouldn't have Bronco Nation News without my wife, so I know some of you have gotten to know her the last couple months during some of the road games for basketball and things like that, but she is the real person behind Bronco Nation News, and we couldn't do it without her. So appreciate her. Appreciate everybody else for commenting. Appreciate everybody, for doing a great show today. So it was a lot of fun. We'll get those interviews up on the YouTube channel, and we'll be back tomorrow. It'll be 9 a.m. Jay Tust and I live breaking down practice and things like that. So have a great rest of your Monday. If anything else happens, we'll break in with programming. Take care. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.